And we're back. It's Train for our second map of this first best of three. As ever, loser goes home. It's Renegades and Fnatic, and Renegades just about held on and won their choice of Mirage 16-14. I'm Vince, joined by Dust, and we're just about to jump live into map 2. This is Fnatic's choice, Dust. Do you think they can pull it off?
It's a tough one, man, because I feel like outside of Mirage, Train has been one of Renegade's better maps as far as their LAN record goes. And for Fnatic, they have a pretty good record, but they haven't played it nearly as much. So I'm not really sure what to expect, to be quite honest with you. I haven't actually seen very many of Fnatic's games on Train, so I'm not sure exactly what they'll have in store. But obviously, tournament life on the line, and they've felt comfortable enough with the map to pick it, so I have to have some faith they can do well.
Whereas Faction's going to use that smoke to just pop out, and you can see that Fnatic were baited into a false sense of security pulling out there. JW with a P250 is going to get 2. It was looking pretty poor to start off with. There's so many bullets are whizzing past Azza, and JKS now behind the terrorist. Gonna try his best to fend them both off. Not gonna happen. Fnatic will draw first blood on our second map.
That was a pretty weird one. Like, that was kind of up in the air. Like you said, when Gratis actually got that first kill, it was looking pretty good, but then just JW with the P250 really just kind of saved the day there. Brolin also heavily involved, a full house of frags between them. So that's going to be Fnatic up 1-0, and a force buy from Renegades, though. Double scout, upgraded pistols across the board.
Am I right in thinking as well that the winner of this game will be playing later today as well, Doc?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, winner of this plays winner of G2 Energy for a playoff spot in the quarterfinals.
Right, yeah. So they're going to have to play again later on this evening. So it's going to be a bit of a rough, long day for these teams, but it has to start here. And at the end of the day, they did lose. That's the reason they're in this predicament to start off with. They only have themselves to blame. Gratis Faction on 17 health. Double scouts elected for Renegades. It is another map like Dust 2 where you will see a lot of scouts picked up because of the vast open areas. The longer range confrontations. They're going to send 3 players to B site, but Fnatic, they're all clumped up on the long side of Alley, heading towards Ivy now. So it looks like they are going to be making a burst move through Ivy with Molotovs preceding the push. Renegades not really in position to fend this off either.
No, not at all. A lot of the forces over towards the inner bomb site right now, trying to do a little bit of a gamble stack, trusting in Jacob to try to hold things down towards outer, at least by time. And he's already off the board. Smoke up on Z. No way for Renegades really back in. This is probably where you just save these guns if you can and just try to pose the same threat next round. And that's really your best bet.
Yeah, indeed. It's part of the... Again, the beauty of stacking a site is if they push into your 4 players, there's a chance you can outright win the round. If not, well, you can rinse and repeat. As you say, you can bring them into round 3. Nice shot by Gratis Faction. AKS with the other scout, having a look on to Connector. Timing not quite favoring him, but will connect the shot onto Exist, and that's going to make him think twice about re-peeking. I think both teams will be relatively happy at this stage with a couple of kills going down to just stay where they are. There's plenty on Fnatic as well. They don't want to lose any more weapons, and Renegades can keep these 4 guns. So it is pretty much just going to be a repeat performance going through into round 3.
Absolutely the case. Good on them to be able to hold on to those weapons and at least try this one again. Rinse and repeat. Fnatic obviously looking to try to get to 3-0, though. It's going to be harder now that you have to challenge these guns a second time around. Lots of utility, though, for Fnatic to run whatever execute they feel best about. You already see the flashes and such pouring in towards outer, but it's not a commitment. Grims and company actually heading towards inner halls. Just playing it pretty default, if we're honest, on the Fnatic side.
And nothing out of the ordinary for the T's. Renegades are stacking again, as you'd anticipate with this kind of a buy. Jacob hasn't invested anything. He was the player that perished in the previous round. So just a USP. Now Fnatic going to start to make a move outside. Are Renegades able to make this sting? Are they going to be able to take anybody with them? CZ at range says yes. Azza penetrating with the CZ and a second kill as well. Twist and JW left alive against a 5-strong unit of Renegades. What happened here, Fnatic? This definitely wasn't what the doctor ordered. Twist with another one. And there's JW making inroads over onto B. Maybe they can breathe a collective sigh of relief. Pulling off a 2v5, albeit against a weakened Renegades. They've now got an SG and a UMP. This wouldn't be bad either to save, to be honest. Like, they have to assume that Fnatic gonna have pretty powerful weaponry and maybe even some grenades left over. An SG and a UMP, it allows them to get that many more grenades and to come through into the next round looking quite a bit stronger.
Crazy round here from Renegades. Brilliant efforts. But it's not going to be good enough. Fnatic just about find a transition with the bomb over towards the inner bomb site and will somehow navigate their way through what looks like a real rough ride there for a moment. I thought Renegades were going to pull it off. Certainly in the cards, but Fnatic, again, do just hold on. So 3-0 is the start. A SIG carried over by Liaz. That's certainly going to help him defend outer alongside his teammates. JKS, the inner player, what will he buy? An AUG. Very versatile weapon. So yeah, a nice little buy here for Renegades. And they've done some decent economic damage to Fnatic, at least limiting their reserve cash.
It certainly was a turbulent time though, wasn't it, for Fnatic? I mean, they're going to be not necessarily confident after this 3-0. Could have easily gone a different way. As it stands though, Renegades come in with an AWP. Scout for Twist. Plenty of grenades on both teams. Just the one kit for Renegades. Crim's playing by himself, trying to cause some interference. Just make sure additionally that there's going to be no rotation or fast play for Renegades playing aggressively up the ramp. And he chunks JW thrown from Liaz. Going to certainly be a bit of a body blow. Now they start to push down Ivy. It's JW that's going to be taking point. He is undeterred by that grenade. As well. I think not really giving anything away. They still have plenty of flashbangs to proceed a push onto Ivy or A. Molotov now tossed in from Exist towards the Ivy. There's a slight gap in the smoke. Liaz may look to make the most of that. He's not sure as to how many flashes are coming. Double spray and a third as well. This man is on fire right now. Fnatic able to get kills, but the bomb is under control from the Renegades. 25 seconds to retrieve it. We have hit severe turbulence now for Fnatic.
Oh, that nade.
Crimson, in the meanwhile, lands the headshot. Jacob has been bested. But he's now going to have to come through. And the last kill, 10 seconds to go. Everything favoring Renegades, and Jacob takes the head off. So well played in the end. But it's at the cost of 4 lives.
Yeah, Liaz normally a stats leader when it comes to support and assist. In fact, he's one of the best assist players in the world this year. But not that time, Vince. He does it by himself. 3 kills with that SIG that he was able to recycle from the previous round. So the resourceful Liaz with the big play gets Renegades their first on the board. How will Fnatic respond? It's going to be difficult, just the AWP and Deagles, but Twist has already found an opening pick on the Gratis faction. That certainly will help things along, despite the fact that they're on the back foot when it comes to equipment value.
The best possible start Fnatic could have hoped for. Twist maintains all of his health. And also importantly, maintains his utility. So once they do make a decision as to where they want to push, he can toss that out. Now, with this low investment and low utility, you'd expect that B site would be a pretty solid decision, because you can just throw one smoke and flash down the likes of ramp, then push straight out, get up into the faces of Renegades. It's going to be a dry peak, but Azza, again, this is the issue with the AWP. You can't shoot multiple rounds at once. JKS certainly can with his AUG, and certainly will. He holds it down single-handedly, and Azza goes for the re-peak. Yes, Fnatic get the first kill, but everything else is against them.
So Renegades are climbing back into this. That force buy from Fnatic around AWP, it didn't work. Still can get a buy here, though, despite that. Certainly going to be limited, though, right? You have Twist on just a CZ. Utility's not the best. No AWP is going to be in play. It's not ideal, but still workable. Double op in play for Renegades. JKS, the inner player, will have the second one of the few maps where he will have a second AWP. Maybe Dust 2 included in that. See what he's able to do with it.
Just joined alongside Prim's, going to be just above Pop Dog, looking for the double peek. The stack. Azza, going to be able to get one, but not double up. Good entry from Fnatic. With the smoke also in the eyes of JKS and Gratisfaction, they're going to have to pull back and give up a bit of room on the site. Meanwhile, Gratisfaction, though, still connects with the AWP, as does Liaz. Renegades again off to a great start, but it may start to get a bit slippery. Exist can see that boost. He knows Gratisfaction's also around the corner, and he's going to strike twice. Fnatic bouncing back with authority, regain their winning ways, and put an end to the win streak of Renegades. 4-2 in the lead.
Fnatic, man, they are just battling back. They know that their tournament lives are on the line. A little bit of a run there from Renegades, but it's responded to immediately from Exist and Brolin. So cause Renegades to take a timeout. Their money is not the best. They could maybe afford some upgraded pistols and armor and then full buy next round. Probably the best approach they could hope for. But it's getting scrappy here now. I mean, we have the 3-0 start from Fnatic, but now we're going a little bit back and forth. It's very reminiscent of what we saw on Mirage at times. These two teams are certainly giving us a good performance.
Yeah, no doubt. There's been very little to distinguish between the two teams in terms of skill and teamwork over the duration of these two maps. What you would say, though, is Fnatic on what many would consider the harder of the two sides on T-half, having a 4-2 lead, and could get a whole lot better as well. So Renegades certainly struggling a little bit more at this stage. This buy's not great either. Gratisfaction going to take the initiative with the AWP. Going to get rewarded too. That's a big kick onto JW. Brolan in the meanwhile with the SG will counteract onto Azza, who did previously take down one of the star players of Fnatic and Twist. The Deagle spam through the smoke is going to take quite a bit of damage off Brolan. He's the only player to have struck so far in this round. He's going to double up with his second. This slow peek with the bomb. Really risky play. And will cost him and Fnatic dearly. Roland's going to have to come on for a 1v3 clutch plus an ace if Fnatic somehow, someway claim this round. Gratisfaction should be just fine using that train as cover. Still time remaining for the Swedes. Gonna use this opportunity to push through connector, try and get round the back of Renegades. The only player here though, Dust, is JKS, and it's a UMP at range. That's where the SG should triumph. This could get quite interesting.
It could, but JKS, if he just holds the close angle and plays patient, Blood will eventually play into his hands and the range won't matter. He just tries to stick the bomb plant, not realizing JKS is still around. And so it is taken care of, but you got to give so much credit to Gratisfaction. That initiative he took at Ivy, the kill onto JW, it really hurt Fnatic. They tried to plow up T-Counter. They had some good smoke played out across to help them get towards the bomb site, but JKS was always such a threat from ladder. You had Gratisfaction reposition with the AWP in the back halls, find another on the bomb train. Just good round management across the board for Renegades from start to finish, and it has Fnatic onto a full save again.
That's a ballsy decision from JW through the Molotov. It's gonna really work out for him. Liaz tapping onto heads. Quick, concise round. Renegades tie us up at 4 apiece. Good news for their economy.
So we're all squared up, Vince. Now that the rifles have come into play, Renegades have won 4 of the last 5. A couple of those rounds they took heavy casualties, but they've had a couple of clean rounds as well in the mix, so money's pretty decent. Fnatic still not able to really get a full buy going. They had to take a middle-of-the-road approach. A hero AK for Twist. Pistols for everyone else. A little bit of utility sprinkled around, but not very much. Most of them gathering up over here towards inner halls. They just look to try to do the deep smokes at the back of inner. Somalis on the bomb site and just try to plow their way in and take as much space as they can. Normally, you want to push as deep as you can on inner. Not give space for the retake. The thing is, though, that Az is pushed up close on ladder. Jacob's already going towards Z. JKS has Gratisfaction for assistance on the inner side already before the take even happens. And that incendiary could do a lot of damage.
Oh, it really is. Look at all the health being disintegrated from Fnatic. They are going to get the first kill, but this is where Jacob and the rest of the boys should be able to come in and clean up the rest. Do the janitorial duties. Gratisfaction through the smoke. Onto JW. May have been aiming more towards the actual site itself rather than up close, but doesn't matter. He had to lie. Jacob gonna meet his demise. Twist with the AK-47 has got himself 2 already. Is there some hope for the Swedes? Perhaps not. Gratisfaction is gonna put an end to Twist's life. Smoke onto site, gonna stop any potential Molotovs coming in. There aren't any available. Gratisfaction gonna hold on to the site. Fnatic have actually done it. Exist is gonna finalize after Twist's heroic double spray off the site. They regain the lead out of nowhere.
That was so nuts, man. I really thought that with all the damage JKS did with that incendiary and the spray that they would be in for trouble on the retake. But again, when you're able to get those deeper smokes on inner, especially when you just have upgraded pistols on some players, getting up close on Z, getting up close on CT spawn connector, that's exactly what you have to do to pose a threat. It bought time, and then Twist did have that 1 AK. Really well done in the post plant to get a couple of really key kills from the back of the bomb train. It steals the round away for Fnatic. Money there for Renegades to buy back, sure, but if they lose this, they'll be saving. The economies are fragile for both sides, so this round could be worth 2 almost. Could be the lead being built up by Fnatic, or it could be Renegades surpassing them right back. Again, it seems like Fnatic want to focus towards inner, but maybe not commit. It could be a fake, but now that the bomb's here as well, it seems like they want to go for it.
Oh, perfect timing again. Yeah, it's such a good Molotov thrown in there, though. It makes them smoke it. Additionally, though, some entries are going the way of Fnatic. Now, from an almost identical position, they won out. This time, they've got more firepower. They've got an AWP in play. They've got a couple of AKs, and they've got a bit of utility. Flashbangs and the Molotov. This is going to be much more difficult for Renegades. They have Gratisfaction still standing, albeit now limping towards the bomb site on 12 HP. But he's able to take JW with him. They have no kits, though. That's the other element that's working against Renegades, and Exist in the same position where Twist turned the knife in them in the last round. Is now in a one-on-one against Azza, who can't get the clutch. Close, but no cigar. 6-4 lead.
There has been so many close rounds here lately, but Renegades are just not finding them. It's Fnatic instead. Again, those deep smokes they're throwing on inner, it's making the retake so hard on Renegades. They're just trapped behind these walls of smoke. Also, I felt like a key part of that was JKS was trying to play an up-close off angle on upper, which could have netted him a multi-frag, but Fnatic probably wouldn't have had their crosshair placement in that location, but instead he got nothing from it. That really helped open up that site. Gratisfaction got a couple, but it just wasn't enough. And so now it's the full save from Renegades. We mentioned how that round could be worth 2. A bargain deal for Fnatic, as it looks like they're about to roll up to a 7-4 lead from their T-side train, which is a very tough position to be in, Vince.
Oh, absolutely. Goes back to the point I was raising earlier, that even if this does stay neck and neck, that will actually favor Fnatic on this half, because you assume that on the CT side, especially their choice of map, they can have a pretty solid defense in store. That will be in the back of Renegades' minds as well. Like, is this enough? Do we actually need to try and take over and bring these rounds back? Will desperation play start to creep in? Maybe a tactical timeout should be on the cards here, Dust. Maybe just to slow things down a little bit after this next round concludes, when they have some rifles in play. But in terms of this one, Renegades have basically nothing. Just a P250, $300 of investment. That's it. So if Fnatic can't win this, there are some big problems at play. JW gonna get swarmed, multiple players pushing around the corner. It'll be disappointing for him, but they still will be taking this round. Jacob trying to peek. JKS just chilling towards the T spawn. So Fnatic 7-4 lead, but it's all about this next round for Renegades.
It really and truly is. If they're unable to get that, Fnatic may just be running away with this half. It's still close enough to where Renegades could have a decent enough recovery to get them still in contention, but if not, they might just get battered. And a third map might require, which would be the classic of Inferno if we need it. And there it is. Brolink finishes off JKS with the clock. 7-4 now for the Swedes. They have been really good on this T side, man. They're using their utilities so well on both bottom sides to give themselves chances, and they've won the last 3 in a row. Money back for Renegades, though. There won't be an AWP involved, so it's just going to be the rifles that are going to have to put the work in.
They're prioritizing the firepower over utility over kits. We'll have to see if this works out for them. Fast play on the side of the Swedes. Roland SG frag. Molly tossed in with a couple of flashes on connector. Just making sure no quick rotation will be a nuisance as well. Gratisfaction is perched up in Pop Dog at the upper side, so that smoke is going to greet him. With the smokes being planted down, Renegade's not able to get close. It allows Fnatic now to move into retake positions, to get crossfires established, to use all of the angles at their disposal on A site. This is such a brutal site to retake. There's so many places you have to watch out for. And with JW silencing Gratisfaction, that is going to be the end of this round. They were already perched up as if they wanted to save anyway, but that was the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah, man, Fnatic are just being so explosive on these rounds, but it's not necessarily, you know, careless chaos. It's really well grounded and in good spacing and good utility usage. Exist always kind of going in first, setting up players like Brolin to be that follow-up. Crims has even gotten in the mix a few rounds and done well. Exist not just being the sacrificial lamb, but also putting up numbers. He's out-fragging the majority of his opponents, or at least even with them, so it's all gone swimmingly so far for Fnatic. Again, with tournament lives on the line, having lost a close match on Mirage, this is really keeping them afloat in this series. What can Renegades do with these 3 Augs and 2 CZs, though? Can they finally fight back?
Flash is the peak, but it's too far behind Brolan. It's not going to affect him. Gratisfaction runs into his death. A needless one at that. But this is what I was talking about before when I said our desperation play is going to start to creep in. When the finances are low, that's when teams and players feel like they have to try and make the plays. Asa, though, is making the plays with this org. There's nothing desperate about that. It's focused. It's controlled. A 3K in quick succession will put JW and Crims on their back foot. And they are so split up as well, Dust. The bombs dropped and they are miles away from each other.
Yeah, luckily they can pretty safely sync back up. And certainly Crims will be able to work through the inner halls to grab this bomb back. And you already see JW retreating from Ivy after creating some pressure. And at the very least, forcing Renegades to respect the fact that Ivy could be used at some point in this round still. But as we can tell, that won't be the case. They do have 1 smoke and 1 Molotov and 1 flash to try to get out with. See if they can't still pose a threat. Asa, though, perched up, but he's been found out by Crims. Smoke does come down to go towards Ivy, or between these trains to give him that little bit of space to get towards E-Box. That Molotov could flush Liaz out as well. This could be a problem. Actually, he'll just avoid it.
Didn't quite spread to him. Had a flashbang anyway, but she just tossed straight out JKS at the back of the site. 10 seconds to go. Crim's gonna have to pull off a miracle play. He's been eerily silent for Fnatic over this best of 3, and he feels compelled to go for the plant. JKS not going to allow him to do so. Renegades will bounce back after 4 rounds unanswered.
They're hanging around, Vince. They were kind of circling the drain, but they've managed to hold on before falling down the pipes. Big round there from Asa. It looked like a dicey round, to be fair, until he found his few frags, but they certainly had massive impact, and now this half could still be quite close, but Renegades must weather this storm first. This is still another full buy from Fnatic. If they can win this, Fnatic will not have much to use in the next round. And that could get them very well to 7, get this half as close as it gets, but they have to find it first, and Crims trying not to allow that to happen. He's already found 1 on inner. That causes so many problems for Renegades' rotations.
A map like Train, where you want the extra player to be watching on main. Now, Aza's going to have to watch 2 angles by himself. I mean, he has been quite the powerhouse on 12 kills. He was solid on Mirage as well. JKS go for this peek. He's perched up as if he could go in to peek through box halls. If Crims and Exist decide to push up there, could cost them dearly, but it does seem as if they're going to be making some kind of a set play outside, unless it's a fake, but it's not going to be. We're seeing the bomb now transitioning into main. Brolan pulls a grenade out, the worst possible moment, and he's the bomb carrier too. As has gone down to Liaz, he's going to have to stand tall by himself, but JW cuts him down to size. Jacob, in the meanwhile, from the back of the site with his orb, he's trying to do what he can, but he's just stuck in such an awkward position. JKS now in Pop Dog is the next player to find some action, but he is the last player to fall. Fnatic, such a good T-half already.
Very well done indeed, and that's what I was talking about. Once you lose one player, if you're Renegades, you have to worry about so much with far less resources. They wanted to commit forward on T-Con and Ladder, try to shut that portion down. They did get a kill from it, but the issue is, with that commitment, you're going to allow JW to slip out his default role at Ivy. He's very crafty. He gets a key kill, helps keep Fnatic out in front. They eventually battle the aggression up front on T-Connector and come up with the round, now at 9-5. Very well could find a 10th. This half is getting so bad for Renegades. The 2-0 dream is withering away, it feels like. Unless they can have an equally impressive T side. Or if they can figure out this 4-on-5 to lessen the burden.
That burden is just getting heavier and heavier as each seconds pass. In this 15th round, JKS shoulder peaks, finds one, smoke down instantly. There's still so much time to play with. So Fnatic are going to be fine to just waste a few more seconds, allow Renegades to maybe toss in another smoke, and then push them when they're vulnerable.
Jacob's like, please push this Mag 7. This is my only hope. He's going to transition to Ladder now after waiting at T-Con for some time and no one's showing him anything to shoot at. Now Fnatic will start lining up for an outer split. They do have JW per usual patrolling Ivy. Couple of members could drop Ladder. Couple of players here towards T-Con. Twist being one of them with that smoke grenade. Very well could be a fake though. There's a smoke you can throw from here that obviously lands Z and fake out an outer attack, and then they go inner halls.
Crims, I can only assume that was he got a jump scare and switched weapons. Because otherwise it makes no sense. Brilliant shot by Twist, though, down in Pop Dog. Fnatic, after getting the first kill on Ivy, now have 10 seconds to try and plant. Liaz, pushed up on the site, gonna deliver the fatal blow, and they do navigate the 4v5. That will lessen the burden dust, but they still go through into the second half 9-6 behind.
Yeah, Fnatic trying something fancy with a double fake. Smoke Z, tried the pressure inner and then go back to outer, but they lost too many along the way, and so a 6th round does come up for Renegades. They win 2 of the last 3 to keep themselves in somewhat contention, but still a dominant half from Fnatic. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll bring you the second half of Map 2, perhaps the final map of the series. We'll have to find out shortly, so stay tuned.
Half 2 is upon us. Fnatic battling desperately to say in DreamHack Dallas, if they do not convert this 9-6 lead, they are gone. They are out. It really is that simple. Renegades, though, do have a bit of a mountain to climb up after a pretty lackluster CT side. The question remains, can they pull this back?
That is indeed the question. Also, to give you an update on what's going on the other end of this, because remember, the winner of this is playing the winner of Energy and G2. Energy won the first map on Train in overtime. They are now number 2 of their series on the mainstream on Inferno, and G2 is up 8-4, so maybe looking to force a map 3 unless Energy can pull off a bit of a comeback there. Similar boat here for us. This could be over in 2 if Renegades make a bit of a comeback, but Fnatic looking to force a map 3. Did really well on their T side.
I mean, the way forward really is to just keep the economy of Fnatic low, up such a big part of Train alongside utility. Right away, Renegades going in for the jugular. Ruthless aggression shown. The bloodlust has descended, but it's gone pretty evenly so far. Fnatic going to take the advantage, courtesy of Twist and his USP. He's found 2 headshots. The IGL for Fnatic is sent sprawling into the next round, and Azza, who's been a hero for Renegades as of late, does just narrowly miss out on his chance. Renegade's going to decide to go B. Both of Fnatic, though, so dangerously low. 1 bullet anywhere on their body pretty much will kill them. Azza is still waiting.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, will they expect that Twist has gotten here this fast? He is so quickly into the inner bomb site.
Unfortunately, though, it isn't him that has the kit. It's JW, who is still a little bit behind him. Az is not playing for this bomb plant whatsoever. They're both at the back. Fortunately, for Renegades, it's no smokes, no flashes, but Twist is going to be making a slow and steady push up and spotted by Azza. How does he get the kill? He spins around and finds it, and JW's holding onto the site, but there is Liaz. He did miss a couple of shots to start off with. I was getting worried for him, but Renegades will take the second pistol.
Man, Liaz is just having a really good tournament. Again, the second best rated player on this team after JKS. He's actually within the top 10 for the tournament, if I'm not mistaken. Normally more known for being supportive, and his numbers really dipped on this team after being kind of a star player in Oceania with Order and some other teams. But this might be one of the best lands he's had. He's had so much impact at different moments. Big play for him to get that pistol for Renegades.
Oh, absolutely. Two scouts. Identical purchase to what we saw Renegades do after they lost the first pistol. We'll see Exist with a Desert Eagle holding the line. Gets one kill, but also heavily weakens JKS. The early trades are going in favor of Fnatic. Now the bomb is going to get planted, but a grenade lands plumb on Liaz. He's down to 19. There are no kits. How much time can Renegades delay the push? How long can they stall for? And this faction can't do anything more in this round. He is gone, as is Liaz. It's going to come down to Azza once again. Backs against the wall. Can he share the burden of this weight that's being piled on top of him? He's using the smoke. He's playing this so well. There's just too many players against him from Renegades to deal with. Fnatic, they don't have time. As we said, they don't have a kit. So Azza has actually done it. Doesn't need to kill everybody to win the round after all.
That's by the skin of their teeth, though, Vince. It was not looking good. Like you said, they were losing the exchanges. The nade damage came piling in. They got trapped behind the bomb train. They could never really cross to go back into the inner halls and have a new angle to hold off the retake. And they just kept getting caught. It was a 4-on-2 at one point in favor of Fnatic as they were rolling into the inner bomb side. But not having a kit really cost Fnatic there. So Renegades, a very good opportunity to tie this thing up at 9-all and put that 2-0 back on the table as a possibility. It seemed like it wasn't going to be the case given how well Fnatic played that first half, but now Renegades are right back into the scrap. Do have to deal with some upgraded weapons though from Fnatic. They aren't going to go down with just USPs here, so it's not going to be a freebie.
Free at this point on either side with so many investment rounds coming into play. Not many smokes either for the Fnatic side. They don't have any flashbangs alongside it. Hacking onto the A side, leaving Exist by himself. Does have the UMP, which is one of their strongest weapons. Be clearing out the angles. In these kind of rounds, you can't take any of these corners for granted, or they can't quickly snap you back. Twist head, snap back against the wall, courtesy of Liaz. Crims is going to go the same way. It's looking like things are starting to come together now for Renegades. Bam up through the smoke. We'll see Gratisfaction take us down to a 1-on-4. And Exist can do nothing but cross his fingers and hope for the best, and his prayers are not answered.
Yeah, almost a team ace there from Renegades, and that's where Liaz can be more impactful, and they're not playing default. He's not forced just to play a solo position. He can get into the mix of the entries with Jacob and Azza, and he gets the opening kill there. Jacob and company follow up on it nicely. The frag distribution for Renegades is actually coming up quite nicely. 15 for the top, 11 for the bottom. So not a bad spread. Could say the same for Fnatic. It's 14-10 on that side. So there's really no one bottoming out, no one hard carrying. It's a great little display from everyone.
Piling onto the site of both teams, though. Again, fighting tooth and nail. So many of these rounds have been savagely fierce. Gratisfaction and Jacob somehow got to try and battle against this oncoming Fnatic squad, and it now forced to Jacob alone. There is plenty of time, but again, doesn't have control of the bomb. Always the biggest issues in these clutches on a T perspective. Do you have control of the bomb? If you do, it gives you a glimmer of hope. Otherwise, it is so unlikely
Yeah, he is just wrecked in this situation. Fnatic are primed to take the lead right back away from Renegades after they worked so hard to tie things up. They've defended the outer push oh so well, winning every single exchange it felt like. Just one fell, maybe more. What can Jacob do? Finds one up close, but it's just death greeting him at the doorway. Krim's coming in, but Twist and JW doing the bulk of the work. We talked about how Twist is doing a lot of the T side offing and JW a lot of the CT side, and we saw that on Mirage, but this is one of the maps where Twist will play the IBP on both sides, and we saw him get a key kill, and JW just fine with the rifle. I think he had 3 on the round. And so there's the lead back to the Swedes. Renegades still able to muster up a vibe, but it's far from ideal. P250 only for Gratisfaction. Galil and UMP in the mix, not much utility. This is going to be so difficult to make work, but if it can, they're chasing after Fnatic's low economy.
So we're still on that tipping balance here on Train. The seesaw of Counter-Strike going back and forth. The right idea for Krim's not far away. Trying to ascertain some early advantage on the side of the CTs. Renegades clumped up, not really showing the hand just yet. Flashbang in. This is ideal for peeking ramp. If anyone is up there in the close angle, completely neutralizes them. They do have 3 defenders on B. It's very possible Renegades are about to walk into a crossfire, a trap. This could be a catastrophe.
Also, once nades come flying in, counter incendiaries could be a big problem, but they actually beat the time, but they can't beat Exist. He has lined them up and knocked them down to help the Crims in a big, big way. It's just as of now, he's in so much trouble.
Especially with Twist with an ult. Flicks into his chest. Fnatic will take the 2-round lead.
That was devastating. It's just Exist so quickly knocks them down before they could even make any true headway into the inner bomb site. And Renegades, they were obviously forcing up there because they wanted to try to chase after the fact that Fnatic were running low on funds. They knew if they could win that, they could force Fnatic into either a force buy or a save, and that could give them the ground to perhaps take the lead back, but it's all failed. Now they have to full save, and Fnatic can look to extend their lead and really start working towards that 3rd map, start working towards sticking around in this tournament.
Renegades, realistically, just hoping for a plan. See if they can banish a couple of Fnatic players, take some of those guns away, force them to replenish, force that economy to get a little bit more dicey. As you can see, Crims is already down to $50, $500 for Exist. So there are potential avenues, but it's really just the fact it's blocked. Against Armor, they are effectively pea shooters, let's be honest. It's trying to fight a fire with a water gun. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of killing time, it feels like. Really not much. Az is just spamming his clock around in inner halls just randomly, letting them know we have blocks. And that is it. Almost one of this is just kind of like a extra timeout, but not officially.
Yeah. Yeah, like kind of a mini pause. Yeah, it would make perfect sense in this kind of a round. You're not expecting to get anything. It's going to be a 1 flashbang. That's going to get tossed in first, and you're just going to swarm over Exist. But even the flash doesn't affect him, and it's a complete massacre. You expect to see it, but Exist with the AUG may get caught in the side. He's anticipating the last player is going to go the same way. JKS has missed his opportunity. It's the eco ace for Exist, padding them stats nicely.
He will indeed be thankful for the free ace. Again, you could never really expect much in that round, but now hopefully using that extra time to chat while they were dilly-daddling around in the inner halls, they can figure out what will be the best approach on this full buy. No AWP for Gratisfaction. There is still some limitations to utility, but still pretty good overall. They need this round. Our Fnatic are really going to start steaming out. And look at this aggression from JW and Ivy. The pop flash is oh so effective, but they actually do get away with that. Nade could do the job.
Molotov behind it as well. It's about to get a bit hot on the alleyway, and Gratisfaction can't handle the heat. Liaz wants to avenge his fallen teammate, but if he's going to do so, he has to move through some smoke. Brolan eviscerates JKS, moving out onto the E-box.
You could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to punish the fact that there was a double focus from Fnatic on Ivy. They knew that someone had the pop flash JW. They knew that two were in that area. They tried to come out and punish, but Brolin was more than ready for it.
Roland gonna strike twice. Renegade's gonna have to strike 4 times if they want to bring back this round, and it's all gonna have to come off the back of Liaz. Won't be occurring today. 13-9. Fnatic now starting to pull ahead.
Indeed, they are. Capitalized last 3 letters on Brolin's name, man. He is out here doing big things in the offline environment. Big round from him with 3 kills. JW obviously causing so much problems on his own. The Wonder Child just pushing Ivy for a kill and holding their attention. And now Fnatic just a few away from moving us to Inferno to decide things on a map 3. As Renegades just with upgraded pistols here, they'll be able to get a full buy next, but this one is probably going to go by the wayside.
Not quite as poor as their Glock round, but Crims only can get 1. Does vanquish a lot of the health, though, of the oncoming terrorists. Jacob smacked down to 36. They may think twice about pulling the trigger on B. They're going to keep their options open. Going to keep Fnatic thinly spread across the map. And they've got an AUG as well, so they have managed to procure a very solid rifle at range. It does give them a bit of firepower now to work off Dust. This isn't potentially done just yet, and they've still got 2 smokes.
Yep, they can definitely smoke off C, maybe one other smoke to help lock off an angle and just focus up here on splitting this outer bomb site. The thing is, though, those CZs, unless they can get up close, are not going to be as effective, and Brolin and JW have been defending outer oh so well with these rifles. Twist, will he rotate back to outer in time's the other question. Any utility that gets thrown from Renegades will probably cause him to start shuffling towards the Z. Indeed, the smokes are going to get started to line up any moment now. Renegades do have to quickly get something going. Only 18 seconds left.
JW's in such a good angle as well, one that they won't be anticipating. JW hoisting this round, putting it on his back, locking it down. There was a glimmer of hope with the AUG, but that has been snuffed out. Fnatic 2 rounds away from taking us to Inferno.
I feel like this is the last hope for Renegades. Finally, Gratisfaction has an AWP. I don't know that he's ever had one on the T side. The way this half has played out. If he did, it's only been a handful of times, but this will be his chance to take a crack at things. AKs and utility for everyone else. This is a really good purchase, so this is Renegade's best hope at making something happen. They have to win so many in a row, though, to get back into contention, to keep the regulation dream alive. Triple Ivy opening here from Renegades, something they like to do quite a lot, something we didn't really see Fnatic do, so it's a little bit of a different look. Trying to see if they can overwhelm JW's position. A little bit of a jump peek, no one there to greet it, though. Liaz and Jacob will start moving forward. Can they beat JW? That's their way in. They can't let him multi-frag.
He's having a pretty solid game so far. 19 kills to his name with 3 assists. JW looking for that peak. Here it comes. Can JW go huge again? It's going to be 1 kill. It is the bomb drop. And it's in an awkward position. Of Brolan now with the AUG. He's going to pick up the slack and throw it in the face of Renegades alongside Crims. Another solid round from the Swedes. 6 map points.
Brolan, my man. He was hiding on the edge of a smoke up close on T-Con. He had so much to be responsible for. I mean, if he's going to help Ivy after JW falls, that's great. He can easily just get pushed up close from the side, from the connector, but he somehow is able to get the kill Ivy and react to the push and get another. That's just absolutely brilliant defense from the youngster. And as you noted, it puts them on multiple opportunities to force a map 3. How many will it take, though, is the question. What fight can Renegades put up? It's not looking good so far with that pick from JW.
JK's going to give them a lifeline. It's been cut short. They need someone to intercede with a kill between Gratisfaction and Liaz. Gratisfaction now. 4 players against him. Renegades gonna lead them to a 2nd map victory. It's going down to Inferno, and I, for one, can't wait to watch this, Dust.
Yeah, it's been an absolute war between these two teams. Brolin so effective on the CT side, defending every single out execute. JW also a big part of it at Ivy. They got tested multiple times and they passed it with flying colors. And now map 3 will be needed to decide things. It's going to be Inferno as the final battleground for one of these teams. One will be eliminated. One will move on to the upper bracket finals later on for a chance at a playoff slot. This is Dust. With me has been Vince. We'll be here all day. We appreciate you all for tuning in. !Cast if you want to give us a follow. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will be bringing you that map 3, so stay